You should be finishing up your presentations for this week and beginning to work on your Compxm. So I have the Compxm screen up and I just want to review with you a few items on here just so that you are ready for this. So this is an introductory video. It's going to go over kind of the basics and demonstrating what you're going to be doing. But then I want to show you kind of what, let me get in here. It also goes through the perceptual map a little bit as well. It tells you about the 4 different markets. So there's 4 different market segments, and it also gives you the perceptual map. And then you can also see the TQM information as well. So it's got board queries, so it does give you a sample board query if you'd like to see that. And then once you click through here, you can learn more about your balance scorecard. There's more information on this, so again, review that. And then it'll say a little bit about HR, and you can print the examination guide, which I would recommend that. And then you'll get to the decisions. So this is really each round what you're going to be doing. So half of the round is a spreadsheet, which is exactly what you've been doing and updating. So if I go into here, it's going to drop you in to the middle of a simulation. So it's not like the last one where you were kind of starting out and everybody was the same. You're in the middle of it. So you will want to look up your segment analysis. I've been telling people to print this out. So you're going to want to look to see what the criteria is, because that will change. Also, the segment growth is going to change for each of the segments. Where you're at, your currently acts, is going to be different. Okay, so everybody is a little bit different here and has a different place. You're also going to want to look at your balance scorecard and take a look at that, because again, you're already in the middle of it. So take a look at this before you start to see what's your leverage at. Okay, if you have a question about leverage, well, how can I impact leverage? Well, that's assets to equity. So I need more equity. What's equity? Cash. Okay, so looking at that, that's an important thing. So this is one thing right here. And then another area that needs help is contribution margin, days of working capital, and stock out costs. Again, click on these little triangles and that will help you. The customer buying criteria. So clearly you're not meeting that customer buying criteria. You need to make some changes. The accessibility, the awareness. Again, all of that is laid out here for you to look at. Okay, you're going to go into your decisions and you're going to make decisions just like you have been before. Looks a little bit different because you have 4 products. Okay, so you're going to be adjusting this, and it'll give you new revision dates. Note the year that you're on. So this is going to say 2018, I think. It's always good to know what year you're at, so we'll just take a look here. Okay, you're in December 31st, 2017, so that's the end of it. So this is year 2018 that you're actually working from, okay? So you'll do your research and design with your new performance, looking at where everyone is. This is your promotion budget, okay, and where you're at. Again, if you're not sure what to use for promotion, it tells you right here. It gives you some really good tips on how to increase that. Okay, if you're not sure where to put your price, you're going to want to go look at your prices in here of your competition. Okay, all of that is going to give you some really helpful information. Production is a little bit trickier now. So your max investment is $59 million here, and you can buy or sell capacity. You can see how much inventory you had left over. So clearly in this case, I had a lot of X left over. So I'm going to want to adjust some of that because I clearly made some issues here. You have automation ratings here. Again, you want to automate more if it's a low tech and automate less if it's a high tech. So focus on that as you're making decisions. That'll help. Human resources, when we get there, you've got your recruiting spend and training hours above what's normally customary. Okay, again, that affects your balance sheet. And then your finance tab. This is the amount of loan you can take out, $14 million this round. This is currently your retained earnings and your long-term debt. You do not want an emergency loan, so make sure to avoid that and that you have enough cash on hand. And then looking at TQM again, each one of these tells you what they are. And the really great thing is when you invest, In the budget, it goes through exactly what you need, that you need to have. I think it's 750,000 before it makes a substantial, oh, it should be at least 500,000 before it'll make something a big difference. You know, you can put money in here. Let's say you put in there, you can recalculate it, and it shows you the impact it has. Here's your total expenditures, and this is the impact and where it's hitting. You need to decide, where do you want your where are you going to get the biggest bang for your buck in this area. Okay, so definitely, you know, play around with that. And so that is going to be this piece of Compxm, and that's going to be the actual decision. So I'm going to exit. The other thing that you'll be doing is a board query. The board query is multiple choice. It's going to tell you that you're not going to print or share this with anyone else. You're going to go ahead and agree, and it's going to ask you questions. So you're going to click on one of these, and it's going to be a multiple choice question. Take your time, okay? They're application questions. Think it through. Generally, there's two answers that don't apply at all. So should it be higher? Should it be lower? What would make sense? Google search what some of the definitions mean of some of the words in there if you're not sure. Take your time on this, because this is worth as many points as the simulation is. So this is business knowledge, business content. Do not rush through this. My recommendation would be sit down and do the simulation, take a break, come back and do the board query when you're fresh. Take a break. You have 4 rounds plus 1 final board query. So you don't have a lot to do here as far as time, but you don't want to do it all in one sitting. You want to take your time, come back when you're fresh, and get it done. Okay? And that's my recommendation for you. If you have any questions on this last and final step, you guys can do this. You have this information. Take your time. You'll make it work. Let me know if you have any questions.